Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started in a few minutes. We're just waiting for everyone to come in and join us. Just going to give it a few more minutes to allow everyone to join us. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Transfer to UCF Online, the live information session. Thank you so much for being here today. We are excited to have you join us today to learn more about UCF Online, its benefits, and how you can have a smooth transition into the university. So whether you are a Direct Connect student or transitioning from another college or university, our success coaches are here to help guide you through it all.
So in today's discussion, we'll be sharing the following. We'll provide a brief overview of UCF Online and UCF. We'll provide a list of the bachelor's programs that are available fully online. We'll talk about the process of transitioning to UCF, including covering the admissions process. We'll also dive into online success coaching. Who are they, what they can do for you, and what are the benefits? And at the end, we'll provide the opportunity for you to have your questions answered. So first, we'll go ahead and get started with introductions. My name is Shannon Harmon, and I am a success coach in the UCF Online Connect Center. I've been with the UCF Online Connect Center for almost 3 years now. The most rewarding part of being a success coach for me is being able to witness the student at the start of their journey all the way to the end. I like to be able to champion them along the way and be that level of encouragement that they may need.
And my name is Johanny Santana. I am a student coach at the Online Connect Center. I have been a success coach now for nearly 3 years. And my favorite part about being a success coach is being able to be part of students' academic journey. I love being able to guide students through challenging moments and just watch them succeed. I am an alumni myself. I did the Direct Connect from Valencia, and I can tell you that having a coach, it really does make a huge difference.
So what is a success coach exactly? So as I mentioned, Johanny and I are both success coaches at the UCF Online Connect Center, but what does it mean? So as success coaches, we're specifically trained to be your motivational partner who will be there with you along your academic journey from enrollment all the way to graduation. As success coaches, we'll collaborate with you to co-develop strategies and skills that help you meet your academic, career, and personal goals. Now with this, we'll accomplish it by frequent and proactive engagement with each and every one of our students. So now Johanny will jump in and share a bit more about UCF's history and UCF Online.
Thank you, Shannon. The University of Central Florida was established in 1963. At that moment, the enrollment was over 1,900 students, but today we have over 68,000 students. The Carnegie Foundation has classified UCF as one of the highest research activity and community engagement. We have been ranked as National University and one of the most innovative by U.S. News and World Report. UCF Online is ranked among the top 20 online programs. We have over 20 years of online degree experience, and last year, Kiplinger's and the Princeton Review ranked UCF as one of the nation's best values for a college education. As a UCF Online student, you have instant access to a success coach who will support you from inquiry to graduation.
So once again, UCF Online is more than just a degree. Let's pause for a moment to see if anyone in the audience has any questions for us.
We actually have gotten a question. Somebody asked, how will I know who my success coach is?
During your initial phone appointment with the Online Connect Center, you will be assigned a success coach who will be working with you. They'll connect with you on a regular basis to guide you through admissions, learn a little bit more about your goals, to see how that aligns with our programs, and to ensure that you're being successful all the way through graduation. So you will know who your success coach is through that initial appointment and through building that relationship with them along the way.
And we do have another question. Somebody else asked, is your success coach based off your major that you choose?
Do you want to take that one, Shannon?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We all can support the student throughout the journey. However, your personalized success coach will absolutely be the person who is the coach in the office for your major.
And it looks like our final question for right now is, how often will my success coach connect with me?
The success coach will be connecting with you as often as you feel comfortable. Right now, we do have various forms of communicating with students, which includes phone calls, email, even Skype. They'll be connecting with you at the beginning early on to create a plan. How often do you feel comfortable connecting with a success coach? It might be weekly, it could be, monthly, or just whatever it is that you and your coach decide and that you feel comfortable with.
We do have some more questions. Some of them I think will be answered as you go through the session. So I'm going to keep an eye on them and then bring them up as we go to make sure everybody gets their questions answered.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So here's an overview of the 20 bachelor's degrees that are offered through UCF Online. Among them are some of our most widely recognized degrees, including hospitality, which is among the top 5 best colleges for hospitality and tourism, according to the CEO World Magazine. Our nursing program is accredited by the Commission on Collegiate Nursing Education, or CCNE. Students can complete their bachelor's degree with UCF Online and pursue graduate education in nursing with the UCF Online Connect Center as well. Our anthropology program has been ranked by bestcolleges.com as the #1 anthropology program in the United States. Our psychology major, which is also one of our more popular majors, has 6 tracks for students to choose from. They include clinical psychology, experimental psychology, human factor psychology. Either way, you'll be able to personalize your program to align with both your personal career interests and goals.
As a UCF Online student, you will have access to everything necessary to be successful. All UCF students, fully online and campus-based, are taught by the same faculty. Our online bachelor's programs are flexible and affordable, giving you access to innovative courses that help advance your career. We offer career exploration services to help you gain experience in your desired field through volunteering, internships, as well as part-time and full-time job opportunities. Aside from our 20 bachelor's programs, we also offer 35 minors fully online. We've created an easy pathway to help students transition to UCF Online in order to complete a bachelor's degree through the Direct Connect. Direct Connect to UCF guarantees that your admissions to UCF with an associate's degree from one of our partnered colleges. Benefits of transitioning from a partnered college includes having faster admissions process with personalized advising, having a shorter time to complete your bachelor's degree, saving time by completing your prerequisites at the partnered college. You will be assigned a success coach that will work with you from enrollment to graduation, and you will gain access to UCF transition services, activities, and events. And of course, you'll be saving approximately 25% on your tuition costs.
So as your success coach, I'm here as an additional layer of support for you at the university. We'll partner with one another from inquiries through admissions through graduation. So we can work together to identify your strengths, goals, and interests, identify any potential career options and related majors, partner to navigate through the transfer process, collaborate on any strategies to help you meet your academic goals, and connect you to support resources here at the university. Some of the other areas that we'll also offer support include identifying and overcoming barriers to personal and academic success, time management, and goal setting.
UCF Online is dedicated to providing students with an innovative education. So we're going to go ahead and pause right now for some questions. Are there any new questions coming up, Johnny?
There are lots of questions. I'm going to try and streamline the questions right now again for kind of what is relevant for what's been covered already. And if you've asked a question that we haven't answered quite yet, it means that we might be getting to that information soon. And some of them I want to leave to the end so that people are able to jump off when they're done hearing the information that's relevant for them. So one of the question is, do we have success coaches that are specifically for veterans? And in addition to that, do we have coaches for disability assistance?
It's a great question. So we, in the office, we don't have success coaches that are specifically trained to assist veterans or those with disabilities, but we do have offices at the university that will definitely guide you and assist you. We have the Veterans Academic Resource Center and the Student Accessibility Services. So those are two great resources that we can partner you with to receive the additional support.
We do have some more questions around deadlines, and I think we're going to be getting to that soon. So I'm going to let those ones go for just a minute so we can include the, that information all together for everyone. We've also had some questions around classes that are available, minors that can be taken and offered for online, and things like that. Do you want to answer that a little bit more broadly so it could encompass? I've gotten quite a few specific questions around minors, availability of classes, and where to find that information.
Yeah, so we do offer 20 bachelor's programs, 35 minors that are fully online. What we can do is we can go ahead, and Joni, if you don't mind, sharing the link to our online degrees. That way they can have a list of all the ones that are offered and they can click on it for more details. I don't know if there's a way that you can go ahead and just pop it into the chat for everyone to see it.
I will, if you can give me just a minute. I'll do that in just a moment.
Thank you.
Another question, let me see, let me sort through these.
Well, while you find another question, I did have something to add as far as the minors and certificates.
Wonderful.
So while our programs can be completed fully online, not all elective options are available. So if there is a particular minor that you had in mind, like maybe business or engineering, at this time, those minors or maybe even certificates are not offered online. If that's something that you're interested in, we can absolutely create a unique plan for you to be able to accomplish your goals.
And the links for UCF Online have been added to the chat box.
Thank you.
There was also a question around the ability to double major for online degrees. Is that a possibility?
Yes, it is absolutely a possibility. So when it comes to double majoring, you'll have to, depending on what your major is, you may have to work with 2 separate advisors to make sure that you meet all of the requirements for the major, but then you'll have your success coach, like one of us, there with you along the way. So double majoring is absolutely possible.
Another question was, do you recommend going to Valencia first, then transferring to UCF?
I would recommend it. That's exactly what I did. I attended Valencia my first 2 years, and then I transferred over to UCF. It is better on the pocket. Valencia is a little bit cheaper in comparison, so you're able to have them set you up for meeting our UCF's minimum requirements. Another thing is that it does guarantee admissions once you've obtained an associate's degree with Valencia. I would recommend it, yeah, but it's really up to you what your goals are, and we can talk a little bit more about that one-on-one if you'd like. We can schedule an appointment and talk about what that might look like specifically for you.
There have been some questions, a couple of questions about transferring from other colleges that maybe aren't listed as one of our partner colleges. What is it like to transfer from an out-of-state college? Or transferring from a private university or a community college that isn't part of Direct Connect. Do you want to speak to that a little more or save that?
I can speak a little bit as to transferring from another Florida institution that's not within our partnered colleges. Florida institutions are typically designed for credits to be transferable within Florida institutions, so within colleges and universities in Florida. So I don't see students having a lot of problems transferring within Florida schools. Transferring from out of state might be a little bit differently, but we do have services that will allow you to provide us your unofficial transcripts to do a review of your courses before you even apply. So we can give you an idea of what that looks like before you even submit that application. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, Shannon?
I was going to absolutely mention the preliminary transfer credit evaluation service that's offered. It's really a great resource for our students who are, you know, coming in from an institution that's out of state, who may not be aware of where they stand when it comes to pursuing their bachelor's degree with UCF Online or with UCF in general. So that's absolutely a great resource to take advantage. And then it'll really give you a good footing on where you stand and where you need to get to.
There have been a couple of questions that have come in around internships. Do you want to answer those ones now or save them for later?
Yeah, we can answer them now.
So the questions are revolving around, are the internships only local to the Orlando area, or do we have them out of state as well?
So you do have the opportunity to pursue internships within your area, but it does have to go through approval from our internships office. So that would be more of a question to connect directly with our career exploration offices.
And adding to that, there was questions around job placement and if that is offered.
Yes, so career services will work closely with you to provide the opportunity for you to seek employment. We do have a list of employers through a service called Handshake. Mm-hmm. They'll assist you with, even before you graduate, if you're seeking to get your foot in the door, they'll help you find a part-time job or volunteering opportunities, which sometimes lead to full-time employment.
Another question that we had is, can I start at UCF Online now, potentially move to Orlando, and then continue my degree face-to-face?
Absolutely. You can absolutely apply to UCF Online. You're not obligated to remain with UCF Online. So in the event that, you know, you needed to take a couple online classes first via UCF Online, you can absolutely do so. We call that process opting out once you do decide to take campus-based courses, so that you'll no longer be a UCF Online student, but you'll have the flexibility to take both campus and online students, or campus and online classes.
There was some questions around the transcript review process when you had mentioned earlier that there could be a review done on transfer credits.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked how long that process takes.
So it varies by the college. We are in the process of setting up contacts that we can partner with directly so that we can connect the student with. But essentially what will happen is that the student will send their unofficial transcript to an advisor within the college, and then the advisor will review it for the general education program requirements, send it back to the student to let them know where they would stand.
And are there an expiration date for credits that are accepted?
That's a tricky one. That would probably more something to connect with the college and academic advising.
I will say, though, that in the event that you have some classes that are questionable, if you do apply and you are admitted, what the undergraduate admissions department will do is they'll go through your transcripts and apply to what you receive credit for to what's called a degree audit or a Minite audit. If any of those courses didn't transfer in as nicely as you would have liked them to, you can submit a petition to academic services to see if you can receive credit.
Could you speak a little further to this question? Somebody asked, if you want to enter a program in the fall, when should you start the transfer process between UCF and their Florida college that they're currently attending?
That's a great question. If you're thinking about starting this fall, I would say immediately, especially since the application deadline for the fall 2020 term is July the 1st. So we have about 6 weeks before that application deadline. Within that, if you were to connect with a success coach, we'll obviously, hear more about your goals and interests and share some information with you about UCF Online. And then we'll go over the application process with you, like what does that entail, how to request your transcripts, make sure that your transcripts are received at the university, and partner with you until you receive the admissions decision.
All right. We had some questions around what you had mentioned earlier around taking classes online, but that not all the elective classes might be available online. Somebody asked to have a little bit more clarification around that. So if we have an online bachelor's that's able to be completed online, can you clarify a little bit more what happens if there are electives or prereqs or something that need to be taken that aren't included online?
Absolutely. So when it comes in regard to like prerequisites, general education program requirements, or common program prerequisites, not all of those options are available online. A lot of the times, if a student is transferring to UCF, if they're not like a direct connect student, depending on the number of credit hours that they have, we will likely refer them to direct connect first, because that will guarantee that they've at least met the requirements for the general education program requirements. Now, when you get into specifics as far as like per program, like for example, statistics in psychology. So statistics is hardly ever offered online. It's a common program prerequisite, so we can't guarantee that it'll be offered to be completed fully online. Knowing that, we recommend that students either complete that before transferring to UCF, or come in with the understanding that they have to create a plan to get that course completed, since it is the requirement. So they can either complete it as a transient student, or as a transient student with Florida Shines, or complete it before attending UCF, so that they can have it off their list already.
We have some more questions around tuition and funding that I think we can save for a little bit further along. But one last question that I think we could answer now is, somebody asked if getting your degree 100% online is faster than going on campus. And someone else asked if we get to go at your own pace if you go online.
So that's a great question. The first question I believe I heard is that you can absolutely go at your own pace. However, pace can be different for different students. So you can absolutely take like 2 to 3 classes per semester based on what you're most comfortable with. You'll just have to make sure that you're adhering to the guidelines that are set forth by the instructor in the syllabus, as far as when assignments may be due, quizzes, exams, things like that, final papers and such. You'll just have to make sure that you adhere to their deadlines set in the syllabus. And what was the second question, Joni?
It was around, but it was kind of answered both of them at the same time.
Okay.
One is it faster to go online? And the other was, can you get your own pace? So you kind of answered both.
Okay.
I think that's good for now with the questions. I'm keeping an eye on them. So as we go through information, I know that's relevant to the questions. I can bring them up.
Okay. Right.
So from application to graduation, you'll have the support that you need. Coaches are here to guide you from the very beginning, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how that varies per your situation. So transfer admissions criteria varies based upon the number of transferable semester hours completed by the time you enroll at UCF. UCF Online requires students to have a minimum of 12 or more credit hours earned after high school. If you have fewer than 30 transferable semester hours, you must meet the high school academic GPA, meet the minimum SAT scores, and be in good academic standing at your previous institution. If you have 30 or more but fewer than 60 transferable semester hours, you will be required to have successfully completed at least 1 English composition course and 1 college-level math course, and these should be 3 credit hours each. You will also be required to demonstrate competency in world language, all in addition to meeting the minimum GPA and having good academic standing at your previous institution. If you have 60 or more transferable semester hours, you will be required to have 2 college-level English, 2 college-level math courses, and these should both be have a grade of C or better, demonstrate competency in world language, meet our minimum GPA requirement of a 2.0, and be in good academic standing at your previous institution. And this is where your success coach is able to walk you through your unique situation to determine how to proceed in each scenario. Some of the documents that may be required for admissions include official transcripts from all previously attended institutions, proof of your foreign language or American Sign Language equivalent, your high school transcripts, your SATs or ACT scores if you're applying with fewer than 60 hours, 2 English comps, and 2 math with C or better. But please note that meeting the minimum requirements does not guarantee admissions into UCF unless, of course, you're coming through a Direct Connect partner.
So now we'll talk a bit about tuition and costs. There are many benefits to being a UCF Online student. One of the benefits is that our UCF Online students receive fee waivers for some of the campus-based fees. These fee waivers include the activity and service fee, transportation and access fee, technology fee, health fee, and the athletic fee. So the cost per credit hour for our UCF Online students that are Florida residents is $179.19 per credit hour, while our non-residents pay $715.80 per credit hour. Financial aid is available to all UCF Online students that apply and qualify, as it is the same for our campus-based students. The Office of Student Financial Assistance is a great resource to use for assistance with completing your FAFSA, identifying any internal or external scholarships or grants, and finding out different ways that you can go about to make sure that you're on track with receiving financial aid. So as you can see, these are our application deadlines. We follow the traditional academic year as most colleges and universities. The fall and spring semesters have 16-week semesters. During the summer, we offer a bit more flexibility where there are 6-week, 8-week, and 12-week sessions, but the application deadline remains the same. So as you can see, we still have time to apply for the fall 2020 semester. So whenever you're ready to speak with a success coach, we'll be happy to assist you through your educational journey. You can do so by reaching out to the UCF Online Connect Center at the number provided below.
We do have some more questions if you guys are ready.
All right, let's see what the questions are, Joni.
One question that just recently popped up based on the information you provided on the previous slide is, if you are using your GI Bill, are you charged at the resident rate?
You'll be charged a resident rate if your DD-214 or your documents are indicating that Florida is your home of residence. Even if you're stationed elsewhere, if those documents show Florida.
Is there a program entry fee or UCF application fee, even if you currently receive a federal grant?
Can you repeat that question, please, Joni?
Is there a program entry fee or UCF application fee, even if you currently receive a federal grant?
Yes, so you will still be charged the application fee. If you are facing financial hardship, you are able to apply for a waiver. But that is looked at on a case-by-case where you'd have to demonstrate financial hardship.
Another financial question is, do current Florida grants automatically transfer into UCF when you're going through the transfer process?
So through those, is this a FAFSA related question, like the grants that are offered through there?
I'm not sure. I read what the question was.
If it's financial aid funding, it's not something that will automatically transfer over to the new institution. You would have to make sure that you're going through your FAFSA.gov website and entering UCF school code. Once you enroll into classes at UCF, financial aid will detect that because you've added the school code, and they'll transfer the funding that way.
So after you submit the FAFSA to UCF, if you are admitted, what they'll do is they'll send out an estimated award letter to let you know what you qualify for, whether it's scholarships, grants, or even federal loans, and then you'll have the ability to accept, decline, or reduce as you see fit.
Someone else just asked, what is the deadline to complete your FAFSA for the upcoming fall semester?
So the FAFSA application is still open for the 2020-2021 academic year, which will cover the fall 20 semester, so you can complete it at any time. The deadline to complete is actually next year. It's June the 30th, 2021. So that'll obviously be too late for the fall 2020 semester, but you can absolutely get the FAFSA submitted right now.
So a clarification on a question that was just asked. If you haven't taken high school or college courses, actually I hadn't asked this question yet, I'm sorry.
Okay.
If you haven't taken high school or college courses in a foreign language, how is competency measured? The student asking has over 60 credits.
Is this credits from a different country? Or I'm a little confused by the question, Joni.
I think the question is revolving around just a foreign language, not they weren't specifying that they're from another country.
I see. So during the admissions process for students who have not completed the foreign language that's required for admissions, one or two things will happen. They can either complete a foreign language at one of our partner institutions before applying to UCF, or if they are admitted to UCF, they'll need to know the understanding that they have to still complete the foreign language requirement. It's always on a case-by-case basis with admissions. if they don't have a foreign language and they have a certain amount of credits completed already.
I would also say that another option is you can test out of a foreign language if you feel proficient enough to just take the exam. That's what I did as a student. I took the CLEP exam and was able to transfer that for credit instead of going into taking 2 courses.
For those who are asking questions about the application fees, there was a link posted in the chat just a few minutes ago that shares the UCF online costs. So go ahead and look through the chat to see if there's any links in there that help with your questions. Some other questions that have come up, let me find them for you. We have lots of questions, it's very good. Somebody asked if the Success Coach can help with finding scholarships.
Yes, absolutely. So the Office of Student Financial Assistance, they also have a search engine that's called Access to Opportunities. In the past, I've absolutely recommended that students go through there and set up a profile. Essentially, what the profile will ask them is obviously their first and last name, what their major is, their career interests, and things like that. And it will pick out some scholarships that they feel are applied to their interests. And then we'll kind of discuss around whether this is good scholarships to apply for. All scholarships are good to apply for, but we'll absolutely talk about the application process, what they're looking for, and help them gather the materials as needed.
Somebody did post a question that I went ahead and responded to in the chat, asking if Success Coaches are available from the time you begin, if Success Coaches are available before you're admitted. And I answered that question that yes, Success Coaches are available from the time that you begin just thinking about school. We encourage you to connect with a Success Coach as soon as possible to start sharing your background and your experience so we can help get you started on the right path sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Johnny. Yeah.
You do have some more questions. Are you ready for more?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Someone did also ask if they submit the FAFSA, who do they need to speak to figure out if they qualified?
So what you'll do is you'll absolutely continue to monitor the status on the FAFSA website. But the way that it works at UCF is that UCF will not provide like what's called an estimated award letter or tell you about what you're eligible for unless you've been admitted to the institution. So that's absolutely something to keep in mind, that unless like you have an application on file with UCF and you've accepted admissions, the financial aid department won't be able to like give you any information as far as what you qualify for unless they see that you've been granted admissions into the university.
We did have a really good question from someone who asked if graduation from UCF Online would be virtual or if there was a graduation ceremony.
So that's a great question. So, well, right now with everything that's happening with the pandemic, you know, everything is thrown off in a tizzy. But for our UCF Online students in a normal semester, they are absolutely welcome to come and attend the live ceremonies that are held on the UCF main campus. There isn't, in the past, there hasn't been like a virtual session for graduation aside from this past spring with everything that was happening for the pandemic. But our UCF Online students, they are absolutely welcome to come and attend the live graduation ceremonies that are held in the fall, spring, and summer sessions.
I think it's important to clarify for everybody that UCF Online students are UCF students. So if you choose to be part of UCF Online and commit to taking your classes completely online and therefore receive the reduction in some of the campus-based fees, you're still a UCF student and you still get to participate in commencement and things that all UCF students get to participate in.
Right. The only difference is the modality. You're just a fully online student, but you can absolutely still take part in anything that's necessary for you to be successful as a student at UCF.
That's a good point. What I like to tell students is that your degree will not indicate that it was earned online. Your degree will say the same exact thing as anyone else that's in a major that's on campus. So if you're a psychology major, it will say Bachelor of Science in Psychology. It will not say Bachelor of Science in Psychology online. The online will be omitted from that. So it's not going to separate you. You're receiving the same quality of education with the same faculty members. You're still able to visit campus if you wanted to come to campus and utilize all of our library services, the Student Academic Resource Center, Writing Center. All of these things are offered online for your convenience, but you don't have to remain online to utilize those services.
Somebody just asked if the online faculty are easily accessible. Can you talk about that a little bit more and how the success coaches are kind of there to help with connecting?
Definitely. So the instructors, they do have their open office hours. A lot of them provide specific times when you can connect with them over the phone. You're able to reach them via email. You're able to connect with them through the messaging system on web courses. But if for any reason there's something that you need assistance with, guidance with, success coaches are here to assist you. We actually become your main point of contact for any questions that you may have. Any concerns, if you need to work around any specific barriers, we're happy to walk you through that to set up a plan for your success. So your instructors are there for you, definitely, they're accessible, but remember that we're here too. We're here as a main point of contact for your convenience.
And again, just to reiterate, someone did ask if a campus to visit is required ever during the application enrollment process, and it is not required. As an online student, everything is able to be accomplished without you having to come to campus. We did have another question around being in UCF Online. Somebody asked if they start their Bachelor of Science or their degree in general as a Florida resident in UCF, but in the middle of the program, they decide to move out of state. For example, if they move to Chicago, do they have to do a new application as a non-Florida resident, or do they just continue on with their online program the way that it's going? I sort of changed the wording on that tiny bit, but I think that was the gist of it.
I would just say, and I don't know if we're really allowed to say this, but we won't know that you moved unless you let us know. But I would say let us know before we mail out your diploma.
Absolutely. Well, I was going to say that, no, you don't have to submit another application if you're planning on moving out of the state. It will just be helpful for you to let like your success coach know in the event that we have to connect and it's like a different time zone or something, so that we're not calling you too early. But no, once you have started with their program with UCF Online, if you do decide to move out of the state, you don't have to submit another application.
What determines Florida residency? There was a student who asked if they have been a Florida resident for over a year, but they don't have a Florida driver's license. Will that affect their admission as a Florida resident?
It depends on the age. If you are 24 and under, you would be classified as a dependent. You can utilize your parents' information to classify you as a Florida resident. If you're above that age, then we do need at least one document from what we call Tier 1, which will include a driver's license, vehicle registration, voter's registration, maybe a lease agreement.
A fishing license if you like to fish.
Any of those things, but it does need to show that it has been active for 12 consecutive months prior to the start of classes.
What about CLEP scores? Will they follow me? I passed the exam at Miami-Dade College for Spanish. This is another question.
So we do accept the CLEP scores. It's not something that will follow you. It is something that you need to request so that we can receive the scores and give you credit for it. So if you want credit for it, definitely order those transcripts.
You can do that during the admissions process. They'll ask you for transcripts for every institution that you've ever attended and any other scores that you want to include, like the CLEP examination or FLACS examination.
Someone asked about test exams being proctored. Are test exams proctored, or is there just an online UCF site to do assignments and exams equally?
They're not proctored. It does depend on the instructor. I've had instructors in the past where they've had me download a lockdown web browser where I was only able to take the exam through that web browser. And if for any reason that web browser minimized or was moved, it would automatically just take me out of the exam. So that's the only thing that I can think of. But you won't ever have to come to campus to take any exams or anything like that. Everything is done the convenience of your home. As long as you have computer, internet access, you're set to go.
How soon after someone applies can they expect an admission decision?
So I would say admissions decisions take 6 to 8 weeks. It definitely depends on when you get your last document submitted. So when you start the application process, it's important to go ahead and get those transcripts, request the transcripts to be sent as well. For previous experience, we know that it usually takes a little bit of time for admissions to receive the documents, especially if they're sent by mail. So the sooner that you can get those documents submitted, the better. But another good part about it is that whenever you start the application, you'll be able to log into what's called like your My UCF portal. And in that, you can track your application documents and your admission status.
Just want to highlight what you said, Shannon. It's not from the moment that you apply how long it takes. It's from the moment that we receive that last required document from you.
Somebody else asked if they should submit their FAFSA before they do their UCF application.
That's a good question, and it's actually a very common question. You don't have to do it in a specific order. You can do them at the same time. You can do it before, you can do it after. I would just say that with financial aid, the sooner you get that application in, the better. And you can do that even before you apply to UCF or around the same time.
If you have a FAFSA on file already, all you have to do is just go back and add UCF school code.
Somebody else asked if you haven't been enrolled in your previous Florida university in more than a year, are the transcripts still able to be used as an incoming transfer student?
Yes.
Another question around transcripts. I completed my associates at a Nevada community college. Will I be able to transfer those credits to a UCF for a BA major?
So that's where that preliminary credit evaluation comes into play from the colleges. What they'll do is they'll evaluate for the general education program requirements. Now, once you get into specifics, like specifics for, let's say, the psychology major, like maybe statistical methods in psychology, those courses may or may not transfer, but essentially the preliminary evaluation that will take place first will go over the associate's degree requirements, which are usually the general education program requirements. So like your English composition courses, American history courses, humanities courses, things like that.
Someone else asked, once they start the UCF transfer process, does the success coach request the transcripts?
No, so the transcripts have to be requested on behalf of the student. So as a student, you have to connect with your institution to request that your transcripts be sent to UCF.
Another attendee asked, they're taking 3 classes right now for the summer at another college. Can they register for the fall?
Yeah. Yes.
And someone else asked, this is actually a good question for everyone to know. They asked about student IDs for online students.
Yes, so our UCF Online students, they can absolutely request the UCF ID card. If they're not able to make it to the main campus, we do have regional campuses throughout Central Florida where they can request one of their UCF ID, or where they can request their UCF ID card. If they're really at a distance, like maybe out of state, UCF ID card services can work with them as well, where they can request their UCF ID card by mail.
I think I captured all of the questions that are in so far. If I have not gotten, if you've asked a question and I haven't gotten it out, someone else asked, will they be able to attend sporting events on campus?
So that's a great question, and it's really a common question. So for our UCF Online students, one of the fee waivers that they receive is the activity and service fee and the athletic fee. Since they receive those fee waivers, they cannot attend any of the events and receive a student discount. You can absolutely attend the event, but you won't be able to receive a student discount for the event since you're not paying the campus-based fees.
If someone transfers from a Florida college, is that enough information for transcripts, or do they also need to have a high school transcript?
We will require high school transcripts if you completed your foreign language requirement in high school. We would love to give you credit for that, so please submit those high school transcripts. If you completed your foreign language at a college or university or another institution, then we don't need your high school one. So if you're coming in with an AA degree and that foreign language was satisfied within that AA at that institution, that's all we need.
Will the amount of students who are applying in a given semester affect if I get into UCF?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
They're wondering if the amount of people who are applying affects if they get into UCF, if they're accepted.
Got you. Okay. So admissions is always based on the strength of the applicant pool. And so we can't like guarantee that depending on the number of students that apply, like you'll be admitted. It's always based on the strength of the applicant pool.
Does UCF Online, do the UCF Online programs offer tutoring?
Through the Student Academic Resource Center, there's definitely tutoring that is offered. You can benefit from that online, or if you wanted to come to campus once our campus is open back up, you can do that as well. And then the same thing with our regional campuses. You're able to receive tutoring through those campuses as well.
And I also want to point out that for some instructors, they have TAs or teachers assistants that are embedded in their courses. Some do offer tutoring there as well.
The last question I'm showing right now, somebody's asking if they're able to pledge a Greek sorority or fraternity in UCF Online.
So due to the fee waivers that our UCF Online students receive, they're not able to pledge for any sororities or Greek sororities or fraternities.
I'm not showing any more questions at the moment. If you are still on and you have a question, okay, every time I say that, another one pops up. So somebody asked again about the internships. Are they done statewide, locally, or online?
I haven't seen any online internships. That's interesting. You can do them locally wherever you're located at. It just needs to go through approval through the internships office. But that is an option. You would connect with someone there. They'll go ahead and set you up and let you know if that's something that will qualify for you. So it does depend.
And it does depend on the program as well and what they decide is appropriate as far as internships. And they work with our online students individually to determine based on that program's requirements and needs what will work.
I will say that if you're local, we do have partnerships with different companies that are looking for interns. So that's why that office is a great resource, because that would minimize you having to go out there and seek the internship. They already have a list of those employers that are looking for interns, where you just go, you interview. If they like you, you're all set. Some internships may be paid. It varies. It really depends.
Somebody did just ask, and I answered directly in the chat, but they asked if there are internships required for some programs, and I said that yes, internships are required for some programs, and again, you can find the requirements for the program you're interested in the program catalog. And someone else has asked if internships are paid.
I've seen paid internships before. I didn't have that luck when I was an intern, but I think Target has paid interns.
Again, it depends on the program.
It does.
It's based on the program and what their requirements are and how that program works. Are there any other questions that I have missed in all of this? There has been so much participation. It's been so nice. But I'm afraid that I might have missed anything that somebody posted earlier. If there's anything that is still lingering that you want to know, please take the opportunity to pop it in the chat box again for us. Okay, there is another question. Does the success coach let you know if previous classes taken are equivalent to what UCF looks for?
So that's a great question. That will actually take place during the admissions process. So if you are admitted, what we can do as success coaches, while we don't take the place of academic advisors, is we can review your degree audit or MyNight audit with you and let you know, like, yes, this course did transfer and satisfy this requirement, or again, if there are some courses that may have been taken out of state or that may have not been like completed with like a regionally accredited institution that you have concerns about, we can talk to you about the process that you'll have to go through to petition to receive credit for that course with academic services.
Somebody would like to know if the fee waivers for UCF Online are automatically applied.
Yes. So when you apply to UCF, if you select the online option as the campus, if you are admitted, the fee waivers are automatic. So you should never come to a point where you see any campus-based fees, but if you do, that's where you can connect with the success coach and we can investigate it further for you.
Can you clarify the difference between the success coach and advisor? There was a couple of questions around if it's asking if that's the same as an advisor, and since it's different, can you clarify for everyone how they're different?
Sure. So as a success coach, I'm there from the beginning all the way to the end. So we'll absolutely talk about like what your goals and interests are, the application process, if you're admitted, the steps that you'll need to take in the beginning through like orientation, getting prepared for classes. Now where your academic advisor comes into play is that they are the experts in your major. So they'll be able to tell you what the remaining requirements are, what other courses that you will have to satisfy, things like that. Anything that's academic related, like questions about academic probation or course substitutions, you'll absolutely go to your academic advisor. But if it's something that's outside of academics that you're not quite sure where to turn to, like maybe questions about financial aid, what resources are here at the university, questions about like time management, you can connect with us as success coaches and we'll partner with you through that.
When enrolling at UCF, apart from sending and requesting transcripts, is it better to enroll in person to start online?
No, I wouldn't say it's better. You can do everything online. It's the same process. You'll avoid having to stand in a long line. We're always answering our phones. If you set up an appointment, you know exactly when you'll be connecting with us. Mm-hmm. I actually think it's better to do everything online. It's not necessary to go on campus unless you want to see our beautiful campus. That's fine and completely up to you, but we are here to assist you with everything, and we'll guide you step by step along the way. If you have any questions, if you need to set an appointment, if you're hesitant or nervous about anything, that's why we're here.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to note that if you do have questions about the application process, we'll absolutely get into that in the first call, and then we'll schedule follow-up calls throughout the time of the application process so that we can be there to answer any questions that may come up.
I don't see any other questions yet. But I've reached the end of what has been posted. It looks like there might be another one. Okay. Somebody asked about the student IDs again. Shannon, would you mind just really quick sharing what you shared earlier about UCF Online students and their ability to get a student ID?
Yes. So UCF Online students, they can absolutely receive a UCF ID card. They can either request them at the main campus or one of our regional campuses. If they're not local to the main campus or one of our regional campuses, they can request them by mail. UCF ID card services, they're requesting that they send like a passport photograph, and they'll have to sign off on a document and then send it by mail, and then UCF ID card services will send it back to them. Any other questions?
That is all the questions that we have. Oh, there's
Okay.
more. If we happen to be on campus, can we eat on campus from any of the places there?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're on campus and you want to stop at one of the eatery places, you can absolutely eat on campus. You'll just have to make sure that you pay for the parking, because UCF Online students, they don't have to pay for like parking passes, but there are like little meters. You have to either do the metered parking or park in one of the parking garages.
Or it's $5 a day, I believe, to park in the garage. You can also go to the bookstore, get a souvenir.
We have to pay for parking when we are on campus as well, just so you know. Just like the students. Somebody else asked about eligibility to get park discounts like Disney and such as a UCF Online student.
Yeah. So with your UCF ID and your active standing as a student, you can visit the campus. They have a board of different discounts that are available.
And I don't see any other questions at the moment. I'm guessing at this point, if there's any questions left, this is a great time to check out the number that was posted on the previous slide with our Connect Center contact information, so you can schedule time to speak with a success coach.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you've gained some valuable information about UCF Online and our transfer process. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.
Hi, thanks, guys.